There's this universal thing where people don't check Discord. I'm not sure what that's about. I rarely do myself, but I'm on my computer all the time, so it's always here.
Yeah.
But I do get a bit sort of, who the fuck is messaging me whenever I hear a noise?
Hey, Shaughn, good to see you. How you doing?
Same as usual.
Same as usual? We don't know what usual is. It's been a while.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pink square.
A big
Shaughn,
pink
this is
square.
TJ, Shaughn.
TJ. Hello,
This is
TJ.
my friend TJ from the Londonish area.
I am Londonish.
We met on like a webcomic site back in like what, fucking 2007.
The Ice Age, I think.
the site doesn't even exist anymore.
It doesn't. No, everything's gone down. Now, is that SEAN or SH?
Shaughn.
Shaughn. So, you know the name Vaughn, right? With the G.
Oh.
Just Shaughn instead.
Shaughn, I see.
Yep.
Yeah, SHAUGHN.
I've never heard of that one before.
Yeah, and if I had a nickel every time someone's told me that,
Let's
be pretty
take
well
a
off.
simple name that's spelled very standardly, and we'll stretch it out to 7 letters.
Where do you stand on whether it's Sean Bourne or Scene Bean?
I kind of like Scene Bean.
It's Shaughn Boggin. Come on. Here are today's judges: Shaughn, Charles Redding, and TJ Pownell. On the fantasy tournament game show where anything can happen, anyone can win, and you never know who will show up next. It's anyone's game!
Hey!
Hello, everybody.
God, I nearly fell out of my chair for a second there. I'm just making sure the wheels are in
I'm
the
your
right
host,
position.
Rob Bourgeois. What do you say we take this wheel for a walk? I'm going to give you each options. You get 4 characters at a time. They could even be celebrities or teams. And you pick the one you want to see compete. The rest get tossed aside into the cauldron of maybe next time.
It's filled with poo.
Not yet, it isn't. If you don't like who you got, don't know who they are, or just don't want to pick them, that's fine. You can ditch them for 3 replacements, then double ditch for 2, and you can last ditch for one last one you're stuck with. Once your character is chosen, we spin this wheel, stick them wherever the apostrophe is pointing. If we end up with a match... Hang on, I'm going to take that part again. If we end up with a match, then we draw the character... Nope. If we land on a match that's already resolved, we spin again. If it lands again, then there are rules for solving that. Once we end up with a match, then we draw the contest out of the other bucket and get to argue about who wins. We
Don't
keep that
look at me,
up
because I'm
until
just
we
gonna
get
put you
a
off.
champion. Yep.
You're doing well today.
You shut up.
I can't do
Way
it.
better than last time.
Just look into my calming pink void.
To demonstrate the process of choosing a character, I'm going to pick one now. I have, as my options, Diogenes of Sinope, the philosopher, Seto
hell yeah.
Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh!, GLaDOS from Portal, or Felonious Gru from Despicable Me.
Starting off with some bangers there, aren't you?
I'm going to pick GLaDOS. So I give this a spin, and while that's resolving, let's go over the basic rules of the game. First, the characters want to win, but they don't necessarily need to win. Second, all injuries are reversible. They come back at 100% on the following match, but they do, however, retain memories of previous matches. That can occasionally be relevant. Third, characters who have gear will have their standard loadout for all relevant contests. Fourth, cheating is not allowed. If a character cheats, we do catch them, they are always caught, and they are disqualified. And last, characters are explained the rules in a way they will understand, and they are given about 4 hours of preparation time in order to practice and get the basics down before they are released for the actual contest.
Fair enough.
So now with all that, GLaDOS goes right here and awaits her opponent. Shaughn,
Yes.
you've got TJ Detweiler from Recess, Muriel Finster from Recess, Lightning McQueen from Cars, or Buster from Mythbusters.
Surprisingly, I know who all these people are. Do I choose one or all?
You choose one.
Oh, Buster, of course.
Get them all up there.
Okay,
Go for
Buster! Charlie, You've got Eric Cartman from South Park, Dr. Beverly Crusher from Star Trek The Next Generation, Undyne from Undertale, or Tiny Kong from Donkey Kong 64.
Let's go with Dr. Crusher.
I think my favourite part of Star Trek was when she was a dog once.
I don't interfere with what you're teaching.
You would be incapable
and I don't
of
think it's asking
interfering.
too much that you do the same.
Q turned her into a dog.
TJ, you
Yes.
have Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk 2077, Smokey Bear from the U.S. Forest Service, Lieutenant Ezri Dax from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, or Shield Knight from Shovel Knight.
You gave these guys some amazing characters, and then I get the Z team here. Oh, just go for Ezri.
Smokey
can
Bear is not
ditch.
GT. Thank you very much.
Ezri.
You can ditch. Okay.
No, Ezri. I know. She's crap. Nobody likes her. She lives in space and she gets space sick. Sort your
It's
life
got to
out.
happen to someone.
All right, Shaughn. You've
Yes.
got Fred Flintstone from The Flintstones, the Nostalgia Critic from Nostalgia Critic, Din Djarin from Star Wars The Mandalorian, or Napoleon Dynamite from Napoleon Dynamite.
I think the Nostalgia Critic is going to be my selection. After all, who knows when we need a absolutely unnecessarily detailed evaluation of movies from the 80s and 90s.
There's a few that would come up that might involve that.
I
Fair
need that
enough.
on a daily basis.
Charlie, you've got Peppa Pig from Peppa Pig, Pete Sr. from Goof Troop, Bob from Reboot, or Principal Cinnamon J. Scudworth from Clone High.
I feel fairly safe in saying I will have a ditch in this case.
Here is your ditch. Angus MacGyver from MacGyver, Regis
Aw.
Philbin, the game show host, or Spyro from Spyro the Dragon.
Now who's got the S tier?
Spyro's had
Yeah.
plenty of choices before, so I'm going to go with Angus MacGyver.
The objectively correct choice.
All right, TJ, you've got Melina from The Emperor's New School, Bulma from Dragon Ball Z, Professor Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective, or C-3PO from Star Wars.
I would like to ditch.
Telly from Sesame Street, Blue from Blue's Clues, or Mickey Mouse from Mickey Mouse.
Can you use that one?
Steamboat Willie will be able to use, but not Mickey Mouse. So let's use Mickey Mouse.
Hear that? That's the sound of printers sending off cease and desist letters already.
Sean,
All right.
you've got Sticky Web from The Proud Family, Cranky Kong from Donkey Kong Country, Homestar Runner from Homestar Runner, or Fitzsimmons from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Not very familiar with all these, so let's ditch.
Jimmy Carr, the comedian,
Fuck
Captain
off.
Hook from Disney's Peter Pan, or Horton the Elephant from Horton Hears a Who.
Let's go Horton. I need a big, strong guy on the team.
Surprisingly, no matches yet, especially considering we had one where
Last-
we had nothing
yeah.
but matches for the first...
Last
Like,
time, everyone
quarter.
was a match. It's never happened. Never will happen again.
All right, Charlie, you've got Inspector Jacques Clouseau from The Pink Panther, Vin
That's a good
Diesel the actor, Carlac Cliffgate from Baldur's Gate 3, or Tim the Toolman Taylor from Home Improvement.
If it were several of Vin Diesel's characters, I'd go with him. I'm going to go with Carlock this time.
Do we reckon we're going to get everything filled out before we start getting matches? Each bracket.
That'd be another
Almost
impressive
definitely not.
run.
If we do this long enough.
The odds of that are really, really slim.
3 in a row.
Yeah, but that was a 1 in 16, a 1 in 15, and a 1 in 14 chance.
It can only happen once. Never
All right,
again.
TJ, you've got Hat Kid from A Hat in Time, Harold McGrady V from Total Drama, Eddie from Ed, Ed and Eddie, or Paul Atreides from Dune.
Oh, I don't like Dune, but I'm going for Paul Atreides.
Got some main character energy, that one. By definition, of course.
Nothing happened in that entire movie.
Here we are.
Waste of my time.
You ruined it by bringing it up, TJ.
Paul Atreides versus the Nostalgia Critic. The contest is sailing the Atlantic. They are in a boat with a sail, and they need to get that boat from New York to, I don't know, what's on the west coast of Britain?
California.
Glasgow? I don't know.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Glasgow?
What's on the west coast of Britain? I don't know.
Wales?
Wales, okay.
Yeah, we know there's whales, TJ. It's the water.
There's
gonna
whales
be
in between, too.
If he can sail a sandworm, he can sail a boat.
think you might have a heart attack from all that water, though.
You mean there's all this water around and I can't drink it?
Water
actually
everywhere,
do
so
think-
let's all have a drink.
I do think Paul Atreides has an unfortunate advantage. I think he was born on a water world.
Yeah, he's a rich kid born on a world with a lot of water. I'm sure he sailed yachts before.
But the nostalgia critic has watched Waterworld.
Yeah, but he's also watched Dune.
He has
He
watched
is now
Dune, so
God of that world because he's watched it.
he knows all of Paul Atreides' strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
he knows he would lose.
He knows how to get in his head. He knows how to take him down. However,
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's mommy issues there.
knowledge isn't everything. Doing it is
Mm-hmm.
how you win this game.
What's he gonna do? Shout it across the Atlantic from one boat to the other?
Presumably,
you
these
suck.
sailboats are equipped with proper safety equipment and have radios.
What's your name?
Duh.
Atreides. Fuck you, Atreides.
Atreides nuts.
So,
I'm going for
nostalgia's
Atreides.
critics fighting critique of all terrible movies.
I think it's got to be Paul because he's just going to be more physically capable.
I heard TJ say you're going with Paul. Charlie?
Yeah.
And Shaughn.
Yeah, it's gonna be Paul.
Okay.
Easy one.
Just making sure.
Yeah, I could dig my heels in, but honestly, I got nothing.
Shaughn, you've now got Natasha Fatale from the Rocky and Bullwinkle Show, Dixie Kong from Donkey Kong Country, Archie Andrews from Archie, or Sneezy from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Sneezy.
See if he can blow away the competition.
If his competition is
Hey!
his nose.
This could be pretty explosive. It's Sneezy versus Esri Dax. Extinguishing a bonfire.
Hey!
Yeah,
Oh!
Sneezy!
Perfect.
So I do want to emphasize, of course, Sneezy's definite production of wind, but I imagine that a production of more viscous substances is also quite copious.
He can come
Well,
at
you
it
can
from two
always
angles.
cover your sneeze.
Exactly. I mean, what's Drax got? She's got a phaser which lights fires instead of, extinguishes them.
She's probably got some, the centuries of experience from the symbiote. Lots
can't
of,
survive in space.
potential outdoorsy survival skills, but
Yeah.
She
But
just needs to open
nothing
the door.
amounts to the cheat code that is his allergies.
exactly.
Can't believe we come across the one that he would be perfect for.
All right, Sneezy versus Paul Atreides, balloon animals.
Twist, a sandworm. Or
And then Sneezy,
a
a
sandworm.
sandworm.
Exactly. In addition,
A life-size sandworm.
Yes.
And just like the sandworms, the balloon would be filled with goo.
And teeth.
precisely. So it gives the balloon animals some substance. So even if they fought the balloon animals against each other, Sneezy's going to win just on sheer mass alone.
I think Paul would be okay with it, and so it's Sneezy, but Paul would not be able to compete with Sneezy's production rate.
Exactly, yeah.
That's too many.
Because Sneezy can do 2 at a time, right?
You can do the whole pack at a time.
Three.
Heck
One,
yeah.
2, 3. Maybe his ears as well.
So it sounds like
Oh.
Sneezy again.
He is
Let's go,
blasting
Sneezy.
his way
This
through
is
this.
outrageous.
He really is blasting his way through.
Sneezy, we're going to the top.
Charlie, you've got Agent Sterling Archer from Archer, Old Boomstick from Sheriff Hayseed, Sonya Blade from Mortal Kombat, or Mr. Wolf from The Bad Guys.
Ooh, let's give old Boomstick a chance.
Old Boomstick versus Karlak Cliffgate. Wabbit season.
Boomstick.
Why when Rabbit season comes up, there's always somebody who's an expert in explosives?
It doesn't happen all the time, but it did happen, the other night.
I feel like the tunneling and the boom and the explosives and being a mole generally would make him very good at Rabbit season.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he's already
ruthless
down
also.
there.
When you're hunting things, you just go to where they are instead of waiting for them to come to you. I think that rabbits would just run harder away from Karlak.
She
Yeah.
does have a more intimidating physical presence, yeah.
I'm not super familiar with Karlak. Does she have any ranged weapons at all?
She's a barbarian type, so
She could
A
probably wield a bow, but she specializes in melee, I think.
Bonking him on the head. Whack-a-mole.
Yeah. But these
She'd
aren't
get
moles,
rid of
these
the
are rabbits.
competition. Violence.
Yeah.
Disqualified. Boomstick. Give it to Boomstick.
All right.
Yeah.
Old Boomstick. TJ. You've got Penny Proud from the Proud family, Captain Viridian from VVVVVV, Count Dracula from Dracula, or Ernest P. Worrell from Ernest.
Oh, I do like a good Dracula. Blah.
Shaughn. You've got Hiram Flaversham from The Great Mouse Detective, Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon, Sweetie Belle from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, or Carver Descartes from The Weekenders.
Normally, I would like to do Tuxedo Mask because he's funny, but I'm not very familiar with his abilities, so let's go Flaversham.
Hiram Flaversham versus Horton the Elephant.
Elephant
A mouse versus
mouse.
an elephant is gonna
Oh, yeah.
work out pretty well for the mouse, probably.
It's speed stacking. They do have cups relative to their size.
However, Horton only has his trunk, while Flaversham has 2 hands, so it seems pretty...
Mice are pretty
Seems pretty
dexterous and
biased.
speedy as well.
Also, he's got that manic mouse energy,
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
a higher metabolism.
And he's also, like, he already has better hand-eye coordination because he works on, like, trinkets and toys all the time. Not only that, but speed stacking's a game. He specializes in games. It's got to be the mouse, man.
I have no argument against that.
Agreed.
All right. Hiram Flaversham versus Old Boomstick. Model building.
Oh, that's
I'm
I'm not a demolitions expert.
Yeah, a demolitions expert only builds
Even if
one
you
thing.
blow it up, blind and look like crap.
Now, how am I supposed to build a model when the pieces are all the way over there and there and there and there?
With exceptional luck, which he does not have. But yeah, I'm going
So-
to give it to the toy maker, personally.
So Flaversham again?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. A lot of weird, unexpected victories in this match.
Charlie.
Mhm.
You've now got Rabid Peach from Mario Plus Rabbids, London Tipton from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Detective John Kimball from Kindergarten Cop, or the Shadow Queen from Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door.
Let's put Rabbit Peach up there, why not?
Rabid Peach versus Mickey Mouse.
We're building up a new episode, TJ? TJ versus the Fly?
You shut your mouth.
It's restaurant reviewing. Who's
So
going
is
to write
this-
a more helpful restaurant review?
This is one I was hoping Nostalgia Critic would get.
Does
I
Mickey
don't
Mouse have a nasty bone in his body? It'd be quite funny to hear him raving
think
on about
the
that.
more
in the most
important-
recent cartoons, he's manic and stuff, but he's not.
They,
He's never
Nah.
malicious.
they've definitely made him a bit more of a zombie than he used to be. Not just
I-
protagonist boy anymore.
I think the more pressing concern is, can Rabbid Peach read and write?
Oh, yeah, that's
Yes.
a
Well,
good point.
Rabbit Peach can text at least.
Oh, fair enough.
But is it
Got the phone.
words?
You
It
can
might
see
just be
it with a Yelp
emojis.
review all the time.
Might just be emojis.
No, she
But, I
she
mean, that's the
definitely
language of
posts
saying.
like
People get that.
words,
Actual words, okay.
and she
Fair
can
enough then.
speak.
Who would be more helpful reviewing food?
I think Mickey Mouse.
I think Rabbit Peach has that kind of like pumpkin spice white girl energy going on.
Yeah.
A little
She
bit.
probably uses Yelp and Instagram and
That's
all
what
of
I'm saying.
that. Yeah. She would appeal to the younger audience.
She's probably
And would
even
not be
a-
afraid to give a bad review or a good review if situation
she's-
warranted. Mickey
She'd
Mouse,
probably
I feel,
even be like an influencer on frickin' Angie's List.
Mhm.
right. Whereas
But
Mickey Mouse, I
Disneyland
think, would
has lots of restaurants, surely.
It
Yeah,
does.
but
Surely
Mickey
Go ahead,
Mouse
Charlie.
would give a good review for anything Disney owned, and then a bad review for anything else.
I don't think Mickey
trust
would
him.
even leave bad reviews. I think his worst review would probably be like 4 stars.
Yeah, I suppose that's the problem. He wouldn't
Yeah.
be truthful about it.
He
He'd
wouldn't.
be
He's too corporate.
truthful, but
Yeah.
like he'd try to spin things positively, I think.
Yeah.
Although I get the feeling as well that when Rabbit Peach leaves a review, she might be a little bit mean too.
Maybe, but you know,
Maybe.
you get a good sense of the restaurant.
Yeah, you would at least trust that she's being honest.
She'd only really be mean to those who like provoke her ire.
She's not
Okay.
tied down to a brand.
And if she did have a Karen moment, you could really tell in the review that it was her that was the problem, and you'd still know about the restaurant.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Everybody's going Rabid Peach.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
They have the
All
underdogs.
right. TJ, you've got Megan Parker from Drake and Josh, Donatello, former champion from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Princess Peach from Super Mario, or Lara Croft from Tomb Raider?
Now, I do like Donatello, but the chance to get 2 Peaches on one board, I'm going to have to go for Peach.
I think we're on the exact same wavelength, man. That's my exact reasoning.
All right.
This just got me thinking of how Rabbid Peach would describe herself via emojis, and it wouldn't be good.
Now, if they do meet, it will be in the finale. They are on opposite halves.
I think we got to add fly catching as one of these contests.
Shaughn, you've got the Kool-Aid Man from Kool-Aid,
Oh yeah.
Sergeant Kyle Reese from The Terminator, Gwyn, Lord of Cinder from Dark Souls, or Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, I'm gonna have to pick the strongest guy there, the Kool-Aid Man. Win Lord of Cinders. Can't even bust through a wall.
The Kool-Aid Man versus Angus MacGyver. Pyrotechnics.
God damn it!
Oh!
Oh, no, hear me out. Hear me out. I need just wait a minute.
Do you need hand puppets to describe?
Probably. No, I got nothing. I'm trying, but that's just too hard.
I think it's got to be MacGyver.
Yeah, fairly obvious.
Yeah.
MacGyver. Okay, here's the
MacGyver.
thing. MacGyver is not only skilled with all kinds of technical stuff, we improvise a lot of stuff, but he's all about safety in an extreme way. Like, in none of his episodes does he ever go after a person. He's always about fighting the environment. He's always PvE, never PvP. And pyrotechnics are also all about safety, if you're not actually just, committing arson.
And
But how is this busting through a brick wall without even knowing it's on the other side?
I mean, he's never actually hurt anybody yet.
But only through sheer luck.
That's a
which
good point.
could be an advantage in a different competition.
Are you suggesting he has X-ray vision, so he always knows to bust through a wall at a certain time to never hurt anybody?
I think he just gets super lucky.
I actually kind of agree that the Kool-Aid Man doesn't have X-ray vision. He does have super luck, though.
He doesn't have super luck. He just has the scriptwriters and blocking on his side.
He's more likely to put out
That's
a
almost
firework.
as good as God in anime.
He's always
Yeah, that's
splashing
true.
about, and everything's water-based and hydration, and that's just not what fireworks are for.
He would have to literally dehydrate himself to harvest the sugar to form a pyrotechnic, but that would kill him. That would kill him.
That wouldn't kill him.
It wouldn't?
No, the Kool-Aid Man is the pitcher.
Yeah.
They've shown this in a commercial. He woke up in the morning, he was empty, he filled himself up with water, and he started pouring Kool-Aid packets in himself.
Fair enough. I
however
didn't know that,
Kool-Aid.
but that does not alter my my vote for MacGyver.
Fair enough. Charlie, you've got Henry Freeman from Half-Life, Full Life Consequences, Carl Kraniswitz from Johnny Bravo, Snoopy from Peanuts, or Artie, the strongest man in the world from The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Let's go with Snoopy.
I believe last time Snoopy was up, he defeated Superman?
Yes,
Nice.
he did.
Might not have been last time, but it was definitely at one point. TJ, you've got Dupless from Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew from The Muppets, the Xenomorph Queen from Aliens, or May Parker from Spider-Man.
Ditch, please. What are you
Damn it.
pointing at? Oh, is
The
that the
poster
Xenomorph?
behind him.
Ah, I see.
Here is your ditch. Poe from Kung Fu Panda, former champion Commander William Riker from Star Trek The Next Generation, or Clifford from Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Come on, Will.
All three characters with very similar energy.
Okay, so before I stick them on the board, I want to point out something that you've done. For the longest time, every time I was doing the leaderboards for the episode, there were 3 characters who were tied on every single board they appeared on. Those were Gomez Adams, the Joker, and Will Riker. You've just broken the tie.
Incidentally, Gomez Adams is like a combination of Will Riker and the Joker.
Yeah, I can see that.
No argument.
It's just true.
They got two-vixed.
Shaughn, you've got Count Olaf from A Series of Unfortunate Events,
Yeah.
Beaker from The Muppets, Zoe Washburn from Firefly, or Inigo and Mr. Dragonfly from the mod for The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Oh, okay. I mean, we gotta have a puppet. Let's go Beaker.
Probably,
As long as it's not like a debate competition, he'll be fine.
it's probably to his advantage that Bunsen got tossed. All right, Charlie, You've got Grover from Sesame Street, Cobra Bubbles from Lilo and Stitch, Peter Griffin from Family Guy, or Strong Sad from Homestar Runner.
I gotta go with Cobra.
I can taste the poison in the sky.
Yeah, don't do that, TJ.
It's making my tongue
Speaking
all
of
tingly.
tasting the poison in the sky, it's Cobra Bubbles versus GLaDOS.
Not neurotoxin.
It's Blackjack.
Oh no.
Oh, she'd be able
GLaDOS
to calculate
will-
the chances.
She can play a perfect game
Yeah.
by definition.
In Poker Night at the Inventory, she was even the dealer.
Doesn't GLaDOS have a kind of vulnerability that she can be kind of psyched out, though?
Only by birds. She's scared of birds.
Does Cobra Bubbles have any alien technology to assist him with?
No, but
Yes.
he's really good at dealing with alien intelligences and things. He's really good at messing with them and getting them and evaluating them and
Yeah.
finding
okay.
their weaknesses and things. I think if anybody could be GLaDOS, I'm not sure he could, but if anybody could, I think it might be him.
So
I
the
don't
question
think that
is,
really-
could she be psyched out over a game like this? How would that look like?
It's just blackjack, though, isn't it? It's just making numbers
Yeah.
up.
Well, yeah, but you have to hit or stand depending on what you've got, and
Like,
he might
if
be
he
able to
could
push
behave
her
in an
buttons right.
unexpected way.
But can he do it consistently enough to win? I'm not sure.
It ain't poker, though. It's not really. It's something you're just playing on your own.
Kind
Isn't
of.
it?
You're trying to outlast your opponent, though.
So I think
There's
he'd
a
have to play
component
on luck
period.
rather than the odds like she would be doing.
So is he luckier than a normal person? Would be the question.
You have to ask the dealer. Who's the
I
dealer?
feel like he's
Draw
lucky.
someone out. Who's the dealer?
The dealer is Guts from Berserk.
And who's that?
He's a big demony guy.
Show it on the screen for me so I can see.
He kills demons,
Oh.
I think. Very intimidating.
Very. Would they be psyched out by him?
No.
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 I'm not sure.
So it's really made no difference now.
GLaDOS isn't psyched out about people she should be psyched out about. She has
Yeah.
absolutely no concern over Chell until the end of the second game.
I would say she's too overconfident to be psyched out by anyone who doesn't know about her.
Who
doesn't like-
also think he could take advantage of.
I
Yeah.
still think a computer beats a person any day.
So,
I think the wind is blowing against Cobra, but I'm going to vote for Cobra myself.
so TJ, you're saying GLaDOS. Shaughn, you're saying GLaDOS.
Yep.
Charlie, you're saying
Yep.
Cobra. That's 2 votes for GLaDOS, so she'll take it.
Shoot, I think that's the same brand I got.
Same brand of headphones.
It's an interesting coincidence.
Yeah, I think it's the
nice.
same one Insim uses too.
Well, Logitech is known for inexpensive products.
Talk, please.
Hello.
Hey,
testing,
can you hear
testing.
us?
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know, maybe if we both talk at the same
Testing,
time,
testing.
see if it's...
Testing. Can you hear
it
me?
doesn't seem to be going all
That's
much
way
better.
better. That is way better. So the reason that it was affecting it before was while our voices were coming out and you were speaking, it was trying to cancel our voices and also canceled you.
This
Alright.
damn
Yeah, it's
cancel culture, I
difficult.
swear.
All right, TJ, you've got Janice from The Muppets, Dr. Clayton Forrester from Mystery Science Theater 3000, David Xanatos from Gargoyles, or Templeton from Strange Hill High.
We're getting a lot of Muppets.
Yeah,
A
let's
lot of
get
Muppets
Janice
in
in
there.
there again.
Muppets versus Muppets match off. Come on.
Shaughn, you've got Lamb Chop from Lamb Chop's Play Along, Della Duck from DuckTales, Eddie Valiant from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Lieutenant Commander Geordie LaForge from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Don't do this. Geordie LaForge.
All right, Lieutenant Commander Geordie LaForge versus Count Dracula.
Come on. Oh, this is easy. Easy mode.
Endurance office chair spinning.
Uh,
You're in an office chair, spin as many times as you can in 5 hours.
spin as many times as you can in 5 hours.
What? Okay.
Yes.
What can Dracula do?
He doesn't need to sleep. Well, no,
hangs
he does.
upside down.
Technically.
So it probably
Yeah.
doesn't get as dizzy as Geordie LaForge, who suffers from headaches just from seeing.
But we have prep time, right? I mean, it doesn't say the competition isn't.
Yeah, they
You know,
can,
you
they
don't
can
have to
4
do it
hours to
yourself. You can
practice.
just rig an office chair to spin. I got 4 hours prep time. Easy for an engineer.
How would he do that? How would he rig the office chair to spin?
He would take
I
off his
mean-
visor, set it to project somehow,
and then just like hold it out to the side and slowly.
That thing would fucking helicopter into space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He would adjust his visor to send his brain signals that would cancel out the dizziness.
Oh yeah, he could
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he would remove the vertigo.
So
and
then
just
what he's
spin.
going up against is Dracula's endurance, which is
Right.
probably significant. And speed. Vampires can be very fast.
But I'm pretty sure, I could also have him just modify your phaser, just standard Starfleet equipment, and just like change it so it just pushes you.
Set
think I would
phaser
argue-
to oomph.
Set
Phasers
phaser
don't
to
really
oomph,
have
yes.
that much in recoil.
Well, that's
I would
why
question-
he would have to re-engineer it.
Even on
I
full
would
blast,
question-
it still sort of doesn't move out of
Doesn't
their
have
hand.
recoil. But it could create a projection field, like a reverse
I
tractor
mean,
beam.
He would have to.
they have
Question
in
is,
the
though-
past created a force field from a phaser.
Watch out. I don't know if this is going to work.
So the force field could theoretically reset and keep pushing.
So he could kind of physics glitch it so that the phaser is dragging the force field and the force field is pushing the phaser.
Possibly.
He might
Like
be able to just
standing-
have it like auto cycle on and off.
Like
Yeah.
standing on an object in
Yeah.
in Gary's mod and then lifting that object.
He
He's
could
like,
he could maybe make like the ball bearings of the office chair frictionless.
Honestly, if it's purely physical, he wouldn't stand a chance against Dracula. But
Mhm.
there's almost nothing you can imagine a Starfleet engineer, especially of his caliber, couldn't do with 4 hours of prep time.
That's primarily what
Now-
I'm arguing with.
Now I will say this. When he's done with his modifications, his office chair must remain an office chair, and he's not allowed to affect Dracula or Dracula's chair at all.
So we
I think
can't
if-
vaporize it.
I don't think Jordy would anyway in a competition like this. I agree with Charlie that if it was just straight physical competition, it's gonna be Dracula.
But I think because
But-
this is a problem with an engineering aspect to it, then he's just going to dominate.
I think Jordy has enough ass pulling technobabble that he can make this office chair do whatever he wants. He could probably make the office chair fly if he wanted to,
I just need to
That's what I'm
reverse the
saying.
polarity of my phaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that it causes recoil instead of blasts out.
That's all
Done.
he needs. And just,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get dizzy anymore.
So it
Doesn't even need
sounds
to
like
touch the
we're
chair.
unanimous for Geordi then. Charlie, you've got Neelix from Star Trek Voyager, Arnold J. Rimmer from Red Dwarf, Zach Taylor from Power Rangers, or Joey Wheeler from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Let's put Rimmer in there. Of course, is this hologram Rimmer or hard light hologram Rimmer?
We usually go
Probably
with the
hard light
latest
hologram.
form, don't we? Which is usually hard light.
Or usually their most, like, memorable / iconic version. Arnold J. Rimmer versus Snoopy! Super Smash Brothers!
Snoopy.
That's definitely Snoopy.
Snoopy.
Yeah.
No argument.
Rimmer would hate Smash Brothers.
The
It's
only
far too
type of
chaotic.
fighting he likes is the type that he doesn't have to do himself.
Yeah. He sounds more like a turn-based guy, you know?
What's that version of Smash that you hate, Rob? No items.
Oh,
most boring
competitive
map.
Smash. Yeah.
That would be the way he would try to do it, but he would still not be very
Oh.
good at it.
Yeah, that's just like how, like, for me, Smash is best played as a silly party game like it was originally meant to be. You know, turning off the items and turning off most of the stages and turning off some of the characters. You might as well turn off the rest of the game too, because you've already
Guts the
got it
game.
most of the way there.
I like
Wait.
playing chess with only pawns.
We're not arguing. It's Snoopy, isn't it?
All right, Snoopy?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
It's so
Snoopy versus
Yep.
GLaDOS in a
Alright.
spelling bee.
Okay. Whoops.
There are a
Okay.
lot of
I'm-
characters Snoopy could beat at this. I
Yeah.
don't think GLaDOS is one of them.
No.
I don't think so
As-
either.
Unless of course the spelling bee is in like dog or something and not English.
Dog words.
No,
There's no
Snoopy.
chance.
Snoopy writes. He has written stories that he has then handed to Charlie Brown and Lucy and Linus.
So now
To
we
have
just
them
have
read.
to think, does he have a better vocabulary than a supercomputer?
A supercomputer completely devoted to increasing scientific knowledge? Probably not.
Well, she's not completely devoted to increasing scientific knowledge. She's also at least half devoted to passive-aggressive snarky comments.
Hey, it's me! I'm okay!
Well, I'm back. The aerial faith plate in here is sending a distress signal. You broke it, didn't you? There. Try it now.
Believe what happened, right? I was just lying there. You thought I was done.
This plate must not be calibrated to someone of your generousness. I'll add a few zeros to the maximum weight. You look great, by the way. Very healthy. Try it now.
Hey, bird, right? Couldn't believe it either. And then
You seem to have defeated its load-bearing capacity. Well done. I'll just lower the ceiling. Look at you, sailing through the air majestically, like an eagle, piloting a blimp.
Calling her fat.
Oh yeah, so she would have a lot of creative words because of all of her insults. Okay.
Yeah, but in
Yeah.
a spelling bee, the word is given to you, then you spell it.
Yeah,
GLaDOS,
should-
then?
Sorry, Snoopy.
Snoopy's a good tennis player, but he's playing tennis against a brick wall here.
That's
Okay.
squash, isn't it?
No, it's tennis.
Tennis against a brick wall.
Yeah.
That's
You
a
don't play
sport,
tennis with squashes.
I think
Tennis
it's
balls more-
racket balls against
That
the
would make
big...
a mess.
Is it?
Tennis
Not
ball's more
racquetball?
bounce than squash.
There's a game that does up against a wall.
I think it's racquetball. 4
All right.
3 walls.
Then you get your guns out.
TJ, you've got Dr. Mark Sloan from Diagnosis Murder, Beast from X-Men, Dory from Finding Nemo, or Dr. Wayne Selinsky from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
It's a good lineup.
Dory.
If it's a swimming contest, she's got it.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim, swim.
Dory, no singing.
Oh, 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 oh,
Dory.
I love to swim in
Dory.
when you
So Dory right here, waiting for an opponent. From here on, it's all going to be matches, but this is a good time for a quick break. We'll see you right back here momentarily. When last we left off, Sneezy, Hiram Flaversham, and GLaDOS had all made it past 2 opponents each, but we've got a ways to go. It's all matches from here on out, so let's get right back into it. Shaughn,
Yes.
you've got Captain Jonathan Archer from Star Trek Enterprise, Alfred Hunter of Vilebloods from Bloodborne,
Okay.
Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Muffy Crosswire from Arthur.
Shoot, I forgot the term. Pass.
Okay, ditch.
Ditch. That ditch.
Here is your ditch. Rogue from X-Men, Captain Hammer from Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along blog, or J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man.
Okay, the good Jonah Jameson. Let's go with him. I like him.
I can't remember anyone else playing the role in the last 30 years.
I don't think anyone did. It's just him.
I don't remember who does it for the new Spider-Man movies.
It's him.
It's
It is
yeah.
still him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
They
between
made
our
him look
new...
like Dr. Phil, but it's him.
Now, between our competitors here and the 3 of you, we've got 7 J's going on.
It's a lot of
It's J. Jonah Jameson versus Janice. Counterfeiting. Oh, shit.
I mean,
Well, we can't have that. It's
J.
gone
Jonah
now.
Jameson runs a rag of a newspaper. Come on.
He does
He's gotta
spout
know.
lies, doesn't he?
He counterfeits the truth.
Good words.
Janice, though, is like kind of countercultural, kind of like a hippie, but the hippie would like start a cult in the commune kind of thing.
She would absolutely be the type of person who could money launder something.
Right.
Like literally money launder. Like put it in the dryer.
But
Oh
counterfeiting is
yeah, I
something
got
else.
a guy. We can get this all cleaned up
Yeah.
for you.
Oh, she would
So
actually launder
Janice
it.
would know a good counterfeiter, but that's not the challenge. I think J. Jonah Jameson has the technology. I'm willing to bet he could fake it pretty easily. He's got some prep time.
I'm torn by how much each of them would mess up, because I feel like Janice, even if she were to bring in friends, her friends doing the counterfeiting would be Muppets, and that would be a disaster. And
Not
then
if
Jay
you,
Jonah would probably
not if they do it in
put
a
his
musical
own...
montage.
There's that. But Jay Jonah would put his own face on the bills.
Yeah. If he didn't just, like, photocopy an actual bill anyway, you know?
So I'm kind of torn because I think they both fuck up, but in different, interesting ways.
Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes
has-
you get two characters who are great, and then there's this.
He has access to a printing press. He's one step ahead.
There is that. It's not exactly Kit, but in this case, it's kind of like he knows how to use the stuff.
He's familiar with the inks. He could at least get it to feel right. He would get the color right. He wouldn't get any of the faces right.
All the numbers.
But I don't see Janice even making it that far.
Yeah, I can give it to Jay Jonah.
$150 billion.
He's such a
buy
weird
that.
mix. He's such a weird mix of such a moral guy too, while being such an asshole.
Yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson versus Rabid Peach.
In
Fashion design.
Peach!
Oh, that's so Rapid Peach.
All right. Hear me out.
Oh, come on.
It's not who would look the best in a fashionable costume, but who can design the best fashionable costume. And I bet J. Jonah Jameson, he's got a cell phone. He could call up a fashion designer he knows for help.
He wouldn't be able to use outside help.
He would have
that's
to do it.
unfortunate.
Okay, that did make me think of one possible advantage he has, though, which is that he sells a newspaper, and he cares a lot about how much people like it in entertainment. So he knows what people like.
He does have access to a printing press, which makes him one step ahead.
I'm just saying he would have a sense of what would be successful.
Money from the previous
However,
contest.
I would counter to my own attempts to get J. Jonah Jameson to win a fashion design contest. I do think he is not merely slightly, but exceptionally out of touch.
All right.
I think
So it sounds like
yeah.
Rabid Peach then.
Mm-hmm.
He'd probably try
Rabbit Peach has
stapling
big
the
Gen
fake
Z
money
energy.
on people.
Absolutely.
All right, Charlie, you've got Danny DeVito, the actor. Cindy Vortex from The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Littlefoot from The Land Before Time.
No, not
Or
again.
Wishbone from Wishbone.
Let's give it to Wishbone.
Yeah!
He didn't pick the dinosaur.
No, last time ruined me on Littlefoot. They insisted that Littlefoot would have to win a musical, but I refuse to accept that there's
He's been
any
in
movies
so
beyond
many.
the first. And the first one is not a goddamn musical.
Wishbone versus Dr. Beverly Crusher in a science fair.
It's definitely Dr. Crusher.
Okay.
Whether she's in
wait,
dog form or not.
What kind of science fair? Is this like a college science fair, elementary school science fair?
Medical
I'm not aware
science
that
fair?
a college science fair is a thing. Is that a
So,
thing?
I think Wishbone has the advantage because he's able to theme it better on account of his relatability to kids,
Oh,
whereas
sure,
Crusher,
Well, they're not appealing to kids. They're appealing to judges.
judges of
Which is you.
children's science fairs.
Yeah,
We
I don't
are the
care if you're a
judges.
judge of a children's
Yeah.
science fair. One of
It's
them
the
is
general
making the
concept
best.
of the science fair.
One of them is making the best, like, volcano you've ever seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the
This
other
is
one
Beverly.
literally just cured. And the other one literally just cured cancer.
I mean, if you put it that way.
Dog Beverly as well. Just cured cancer.
I definitely think Wishbone would earn at least most improved on account of he's a dog.
Beverly's science fair project is making herself not a dog anymore.
She's just canonically a dog from now on.
For this next match, I want you to imagine that you have exited your universe. You have entered this multiversal competition with beings you never could have fathomed before. And your next match is one of your own shipmates. It's Dr. Beverly Crusher versus Lieutenant Commander Geordie LaForge.
Oh.
Being sus.
I mean,
They are both crewmates on a spaceship.
but
You haven't done anything, but imply that you have the best that you can without outright saying that you have done anything.
Oh,
I mean, anyone who covers their eyes automatically.
That's
I'm
kind of one of my
scanning
thoughts
my
too.
memory for anything that
Don't
could
be
possibly
racist.
go. What did he say?
He said anybody who covers their eyes.
Don't be racist. Okay. Oh crap.
I mean, a lot of people are pretty suspicious of redheads too. If we go that direction.
The whole ginger thing, yeah.
Oh, there was that entire time where she actually had been transported into an alternate universe, the bubble universe, and they all thought that she was having memory issues because she was remembering people that didn't exist to them.
I'd like Lieutenant Worf to program onboard sensors to monitor all personnel. If we can catch the moment...
Sorry. Whom did you say?
It's going to be Geordi, because of the episode where he was basically stalking this other scientist.
That's very suspicious. Ulterior
he's an
motives.
engineer. He's a charming engineer, but he's an engineer, and she has to have a bedside manner.
He is a man.
Yeah.
He was stalking somebody?
He had made a holographic representation of the person who who created the design for the Enterprise, basically the engine for the Enterprise, and was trying to get the ship unstuck from a thing.
Right. So he made a holographic version of the engineer that he wanted to get advice from and talk to.
Leah
and developed a friendship with the hologram.
We made a good team.
Maybe we can do it again sometime.
I'm with you every day, Geordi. Every time you look at this engine, you're looking at me. Every time you touch it, it's me.
And then he met the real Leah Brahms, and there was this awkward moment of, oh yeah, I've got this hologram of you.
She went where?
Holodeck 3, sir. I didn't think there was anything wrong with her seeing the file.
No, of course not. Nothing at all.
I'm with you every day, Geordi. Every time you look at this engine, you're looking at me. Every time you touch it, it's me.
Computer freeze program.
I have been invaded, violated. How dare you use me like this? How far did it go, anyway?
Was it good for you?
Nothing like that happened. It was a professional collaboration.
Oh, I can tell. Every time you're touching the engine, you're touching me, real professional.
We're friends.
Geordi has actually met Scotty canonically, and during one of their interactions, Scotty taught Geordi the art of engineering, which is always to double your time estimates because the captain doesn't know the difference.
That's also very suspicious.
It's very sus, yeah.
Oh.
It's got to be Geordi.
All right, Lieutenant Commander Geordi LaForge versus GLaDOS. Make that Geordi LaForge and Beverly Crusher versus GLaDOS and Snoopy. Dodgeball.
GLaDOS doesn't have limbs.
Snoopy does, but they're very short.
Although she does sort of swing, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Doesn't she? So she's probably...
But she's anchored to the ceiling, so all you'd have to do is aim at her base. Yeah.
And like she's made of balls that she can't catch.
No, let's just stop it there. She's made of balls.
Correct. Yes. Factually correct.
Throw one dodgeball, get two back.
Yeah, it's like
this
all you have
one's
to do
giving you
is
a
you have
cake
to
recipe.
You pull off a core, you can use it as a dodgeball, and she's up against an engineer and a medical professional. It's difficult.
Okay, so Snoopy is small. I would say agile, pretty good at sports.
Hard to hit, maybe.
He's not tremendously athletic.
No, but he can hit a ball.
He's small and mobile, which is going to be his best advantages, I think.
He'd be hard to hit, but he'd be not great at throwing. And you've got the two Starfleet people who are not the best athletic people on the ship, but they're still Starfleet people.
They're
still going through the training.
Yeah.
And if you got Geordi versus GLaDOS, that's engineer versus robot. The engineer's going to win in about almost every case.
Oh yeah, especially a robot that can't move.
And then you've got Snoopy versus Crusher, and she as a dog has already beat him before. So
they'd be too busy sniffing each other's asses.
Yeah.
No, she beat Wishbone before, not Snoopy.
Oh yeah. Very doggy.
The thing is, I can't get it out of my head that they're both shooting GLaDOS with phasers.
Yeah, that is very
dodgeballs.
Difficult.
They're just
pushing the balls with the phasers.
Just throwing the ball and hitting GLaDOS. GLaDOS can't really dodge.
They're just vaporizing all the balls by accident because they just don't know any better.
GLaDOS going to throw a ball anyway.
She would have to eject her core, which makes her more vulnerable.
They would.
It's got to be Starfleet wins this one.
It is. Yeah. They
Starfleet.
Right.
They have
Team
target
Starfleet.
practice, and even if they aren't shooting her, they'd be able to throw balls.
DJ, you've got Doug Funny from Doug, King T'Challa of Wakanda from the Black Panther, Jean-Claude Van Damme, the actor, or Dr. Albert W. Wiley from Mega Man?
I would like to ditch.
Asterion Ancunin from Baldur's Gate 3, Crying Man Rembrandt Brown from Sliders, or Chowder from Chowder?
I would like to ditch again.
Strahd von Zarovich from Dungeons & Dragons Ravenloft, or April O'Neil from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I'm tempted to go all the way here.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, okay. Ditch again.
Alrighty.
Last ditch. Could be anything. Could be anyone.
Here's your last ditch. Rebecca Cunningham from Tailspin.
Huh.
Do I not get to, No?
Nope, we took out the eject button. Nobody really liked it.
I liked
Didn't
it.
seem to add much. Rebecca Cunningham versus Dory. Whittling.
The person with hands?
Yeah, I
Rebecca
think
Cunningham
so.
is not incompetent. She's like a businesswoman. She could do it.
I think there's a significant lack of any ability on one side here. We are...
Yeah, I don't think I'd trust Dory with a knife.
We're arguing for no reason.
Shaughn, you've got DJ from Total Drama, Martin and Shaughn from Moon Boy, Sir Patrick Stewart, the actor, or Maid Marian from Disney's Robin Hood.
Alright, just to make people mad, Maid Marian.
Maid Marian versus Commander William Riker.
You
chose poorly.
idiots! What's wrong with you?
I chose poorly.
Painting a landscape. Not physically applying paint to a landscape, but painting a landscape with happy little trees.
Oh, it has to be Maid Marian.
Yeah, I think so.
She's a cultured lady.
And she's got the foxtail brush for it and everything.
You don't be racist.
All right, Maid Marian versus Rebecca Cunningham. Origami. Now, Rebecca's like a businesswoman. She's
Yeah, doesn't
pretty
she spend a lot of time in an
straight-laced and
office?
serious. She's
But
Baloo's
Maid Marian-
boss, I believe.
May not have heard of origami.
No, but with the time to practice, I'd give it to Maid Marian.
But
Fairly
like
crafty
Rebecca
and-
Cunningham's tiny hands might be able to hold it a little bit more finely.
They're not any
Rebecca
tinier
and-
than Maid Marian's.
Yeah,
She's-
Rebecca's like only a few inches shorter than Maid
You're talking about a
Marian.
bear versus a fox, and you're going with the bears more
She's a
dexterous.
bear. Okay.
Oh, I thought she was a
Yeah, she's
chipmunk
like a
on account
small-
of being from Tailspin. Which
Tailspin is not.
Alexa,
you're thinking of.
Is Rebecca
Rescue
Cunningham a
Rangers,
bear?
Yeah.
From fandom.com. Rebecca Cunningham is an anthropomorphic bear character from the Disney animated television
Okay, fair enough.
series
I stand
Tailspin.
corrected.
So Rebecca would probably be about the same height as Maid Marian, maybe a little shorter.
Then yeah, I think my whole argument before was just nonsense. So Maid Marian, pretty straightforward.
Well, they both have hands, just normal hands.
They do. I think generally
Just
I'm giving it to
normal
Maid Marian
hands, just
because
innocent
she's.
hands.
Just innocent hands.
She's crafty.
I think Rebecca
Traditional
Cunningham is
medieval arts.
around
traditional medieval
paper
art,
more, and so would probably be bored at some point and just be paper planing. Just
I mean, I can see that for sure. I don't think Rebecca would be bad at it, but I think Maid Marian would have an edge.
there's more crafts towards her era, isn't there? Rather than just making paper planes out of boredom.
So Charlie, you're saying Marian.
Yes.
TJ, you're saying
I've actually switched to Maid Marian because she'll probably have.
Marian.
There's more craft there.
and Shaughn.
Maid Marian.
Maid Marian. All right. So Maid Marian versus Hiram Flaversham. Oh wait,
It tickles
I
me
grabbed another
that
one.
like
and I
all the
shouldn't have.
anthropomorphic characters are going up against each other.
I shouldn't have grabbed another one because it was this one. Maid Marian and Rebecca Cunningham versus Hiram Flaversham and Old Boomstick in a train heist.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
Oh!
Yes! Flaversham! Flaversham for the win!
No
Please,
contest.
this is if anything Boomstick for the win.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
fair,
won it for him.
But I would say Flaversham is he is actually smaller. He can get into like the safe pretty easily. And
Oh,
yes,
he's
so
locked,
could
yeah.
Boomstick, but without, exploding all the valuables.
But Boomstick could also disrupt the train, hold everybody at bay. He'd do the social aspect of robbing the train. Flaversham could disable the engine, get into the locks, do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, like Boomstick's doing most of the work, but Flaversham's at least kind of sort of useful. But I don't see either Maid Marian or Cunningham being very useful in a train heist.
I could see Cunningham organizing it and coming up with a good plan for it, but I don't think she'd have anybody to incorporate the plan.
Yeah.
What if we're completely wrong here, though, and they're actually the perfect team when they're together? They've got the business skills, and then we've got the cunningness. Maybe just persuade the train to stop. You know, lots of.
So you think we could rely on?
She could Karen
natural fox instincts.
She could Karen the train driver into being like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" Okay. Meanwhile, Maid Marian is off being a fox, doing what foxes do, robbing trains.
Well, Maid Marian is, she is around Robin Hood a lot,
especially at the end.
She may have picked up a few of his tricks by osmosis,
especially at the end.
And I would definitely think if it's a confidence game, Maid Marian and Cunningham win it. So like if they could figure out a way to train heist by running like a con, I think that's the only way they get the advantage.
But we're talking about Boomstick, who is literally
that is a big
West
sort
train
of
robber with dynamite.
Winning factor, though, isn't it?
He's got the weakness of being blind, but he's got Flaversham to help him with certain aspects of it.
He could ratatouille it, you know?
Under a hat. Give it to Flaversham.
If he was going up against any kind of a hero trying to stop them, then he'd probably fail. Whereas the ladies probably wouldn't.
But, like, that's not part of the challenge. I don't
know. It could be, though. We could draw a character as the train guard.
Actually, that might be interesting because Flaversham, Boomstick, very physical, but Cunningham, Maid Marian are very social. So I think it might actually depend on the guard.
This is just a regular train.
It's just an innocent train.
Just an innocent train.
Just an innocent train. No guards. Fair. Then I'm going Boomstick and Flaversham.
Technically, it is an innocent train. They're robbing it.
Boomstick and Flaversham also have the moral duplicity to not care. Well, Flaversham is willing to like take over a country to like not have his daughter die, so it's perfectly reasonable to have him steal stuff from a train.
I mean, they were just using him to build a thing. He didn't really know what it was for. To be fair, he probably didn't ask either.
It's been a long time since I've seen that. What did he build?
A robotic version of the Mouse Queen.
Which he could use to pick up the train.
Yeah.
No, she's this tall.
Shake it.
But it was so convincing that like even Flaversham could just be like the train conductor robot, have a train conductor robot being like, "Stop the train."
Although,
is it a two-scale
train? Stopping the train is often not a good idea because it allows everybody to like flee with their stuff.
If there's anybody who knows anything about fleas.
Another question here.
Yeah.
Is this a train robbery, as in they're mugging individually each person on the train, or are they robbing a safe on the train?
Why not both?
Why not Zoidberg?
Because if it's
because I could see like
they are robbing Zoidberg.
Like,
they're trying to steal Zoidberg off a train.
I mean, that's even easier than taking candy from a baby. That's not a challenge.
But he's in a big water.
Take down the safe, but they wouldn't mug everyone.
Basically, it would just kind of like come down to who has more valuables at the end.
I think if it was like a heist, I'd say Maid Marian and Rebecca. But if it's going to be just a train robbery, bombing, mug everyone, take as much value as you can off of it, it has to be Boomstick.
If it's a bombing, the train will stop, and then police can come. If it's
I'd count just both of those.
If it's just sort of pickpocketing throughout the train, then I'm going to go for the ladies.
The thing is, Boomstick is sloppy. I'll give him that. Mm-hmm. And people would get away. And there's also a possibility he could blow up the safe and.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a single train either. If they do a heist, get off the train, wait for the next one, get on another one, they could get more stuff.
When I think of train heist, I definitely
there's just one train.
You think the old West, don't you?
Western, yeah, like the old Western. So that's kind of what I've got myself pictured in. Yeah, a stealth, you could do it, but it doesn't have the same ring to it as when you hear train heist. I think it's closer than you would have thought, but I got to go with Boomstick and Flaversham.
I am very close also, but I'm coming down on the side of Rebecca and Maid Marian.
Rebecca.
All right.
Nice.
So Maid Marian advances. So Charlie, you've got Princess Daisy from Super Mario, Alejandro Burros Muertos from Total Drama, Jake the Dog from Adventure Time, or Sam I Am from Green Eggs and Ham.
For one very specific reason, I've got to give it to Daisy.
What's the reason?
Because I think I know who she's going to go up against.
Oh, okay.
Princess Daisy versus Princess Peach. Now imagine for a second, you enter this multiversal tournament. And the player you're up against in your opening match is your best friend. It's Number Wang.
Number what?
Number Wang.
Number Wang.
I'm not familiar.
Okay. Say a number. Any number.
7.
And another
Charlie?
13.
18.
That's Number Wang.
That's Number Wang. Another number.
27.
24.
That's Number Wang. This is the
TJ?
game. 802.
So whoever has the highest number
Shaughn?
wins?
No. Shaughn?
Yeah.
Pick a number.
77.
Charlie?
18.
TJ?
2.
Shaughn?
314.
That's Number Wang.
Damn it.
So it's basically nonsense.
Fair enough.
The rules are if they exist at all, they are so convoluted as to be effectively random.
So do we have a giant pair of dice that we can throw? No.
Nope.
Alexa, give us a random number.
Here is a number. A septendecillion.
Not
That's Number Wang.
Really? I've got Number Wang. Not Number Wang. I just need to do a thing.
I'm inclined to get
because
this
I think
to
I've got the wrong one. Hang on.
Yeah, so if the idea is randomness, right? I'm not super familiar with Daisy, but of the two, she feels like the
you're right.
most
That was Number
comfortable
Wang.
with chaos.
Sounds like Sean's going with Daisy. Charlie?
I think Daisy makes sense to me. Peach seems too formal and like she would be a little more befuddled by the weirdness of Number Wang.
Yeah, Daisy's got a little more Chaos Goblin energy to her, I think, and just be able to to harness that.
That's Number Wang.
Daisy advances. TJ, you've got Axe from Animorphs, Tigtone from The Begun of Tigtone,
Always a good
Jazz Fenton from Danny Phantom, or Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb.
Tigtone.
Tigtone has begun!
Tigtone versus Beaker, hiking across Antarctica.
Tigtone!
Tigtone.
Yeah.
As you travel through a land both familiar and strange, you will be surrounded on all sides by destiny.
Tigtone versus Princess Daisy. Oh God. In a fist fight.
Oh no! That's a dead princess.
I think I agree
Is
with
it?
that.
She's in Smash.
Yeah, but
he
would escalate
sword
so
fighters.
much. She would die. And we wouldn't have anybody to go into the next round. It'd have to be Tigtone.
If he escalates that far, he gets disqualified. We revive Daisy and she advances.
Unrevivable.
So, I mean, in any fist fight, death isn't really expected, but it's a possibility. Would it count as cheating or disqualifying if the opponent died?
It depends on... It just kind of depends on some factors like...
Win a fist fight.
What?
How do you win a fist fight without killing somebody?
The other person gives up or he gets knocked out.
That's going to cause brain damage, though. That might as well be as bad as death.
Anyway.
We shouldn't have this in here. It's a terrible one. Okay, well, if she's in Smash, then she's good at causing damage without killing people. I don't think Tigtone will be able to go anywhere without killing people, so I'm going to have to give it to Daisy.
Again, she does fight people who wield swords at her.
What is her weapon style? Just
mostly her fists, occasionally a frying pan, golf club, tennis racket, or turnip.
Being in Smash is a big advantage here. I kind of give it to... And Tigtone is pretty...
Violent.
Doesn't really have a lot of self-control. And if there's a way to mess something up, he'll find it.
Here's the question, though. How many gnomes could Daisy fight off? It's like that question, like, could you fight off 100 babies? That's a lot of
They'd be too busy fighting the snakes.
Gnomes have fists?
Small fists.
They do, but also it's Tigtone versus Daisy, not Tigtone plus gnomes.
Not gnome
versus
plagued
Daisy.
snakes.
So his
Daisy.
ability to command gnomes would not be counted in this?
Gnomes are their own creature.
Also, that's not a fist fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a magic
sounds like
card
Daisy
game.
then. Princess Daisy versus Sneezy.
Come on, Sneezy. You got this.
Mediation.
Sneezy.
Ooh, gosh dang it.
Tigtone and Paul Atreides have some kind of disagreement. It's up to Daisy or Sneezy to resolve it to the optimal mutual satisfaction of both parties.
So they're both trying to sort out the same problem between them.
I'm afraid it might be Sneezy for the most obnoxious reason. Because Daisy would be a fine negotiator. She's a diplomat. She'd do a great job of this. But this is an issue where spite comes into it. Tigtone will not like having been beaten by her. And Tigtone will also enjoy being able to take more advantage of Sneezy. Because Sneezy does not have great communication skills because he's sneezing all the time. So Tigtone being able to get more out of Sneezy would rate him higher than he would Peach. He'd want to rate 0. And Paul would not rate Sneezy very high and would rate Daisy pretty high, but would not do as extremely so as Tigtone would. So Tigtone, in having a clear bias here, would fuck up the rating system for Daisy.
I also think Paul Atreides is so prideful. I'm not sure he would be amenable to any mediation at all.
Well, the thing is, there wouldn't be a problem initially. They would get on quite well until Tigtone realized there were no stakes and then raised the stakes. So this is the problem.
Place the world
We're just trying to talk Tigtone down.
Yeah. I get the feeling Tigtone would probably rate them both 0, but I do agree the spite thing will affect things more than we may think.
So objectively, it's got to be Daisy is a better negotiator, but I think Tigtone as a judge would spoil it.
I think the more Daisy talks, the more Tigtone would have a problem with verbally. So eventually things would keep getting worse and worse and worse. Sneezy would sneeze once, and Tigtone would be like, wise words.
I like that guy. Yeah, I like that guy.
I could harness this.
Yes.
Yes.
Also,
you, my friend,
Sneezy's basically
are a powerful weapon.
Yeah.
No.
So Sneezy then?
Throw Sneezy.
I think just because Tigtone, he's throwing the metrics off. Like, Daisy's easily best negotiator. Princess.
We can't judge this via the competition. This is the problem with Tigtone. He is a wild card. He is chaos incarnate. I'm going Sneezy.
I will vote for Daisy only because Tigtone being a judge here is bullshit.
Isn't it?
I think she objectively is clearly, by our perspective, the better diplomat, negotiator, mediator.
Right.
Sure, and sometimes you just get dealt a shit hand.
I'm afraid you see me.
And I am a judge of this game, and I'm choosing to stand above it and do what I know is right.
All right, so TJ is saying Tigtone, Sneezy. Charlie is saying Daisy. Shaughn.
Unfortunately, Charlie, you convinced me. I was going to go with Daisy, but you changed my mind to Sneezy.
Wow.
The real enemy here is Rob.
Why am I the enemy?
You make the rules.
All right, Sneezy versus Maid Marian. Air hockey.
What is with the air things? One sneeze and she loses.
No, that's not. I mean,
Hachu, boom.
Exactly. Straight in the
not
goal
winning,
of a board 5 miles away.
I think the sneezes would throw Maid Marian off enough.
They would throw him off more, though.
Yeah, I could see the recoil, his head recoiling back. You think?
Right. You need focus to play that game.
Okay.
You need to be active and mobile. You need to take advantage of opportunities. I think it would be disabling to him a lot more.
Or he would have sneezed so much that getting it into that goal is impossible because it's just goo.
Like
it's just a ramp.
I could also see
it directs
if he gets
the puck
into
his
lucky
legs
first shots.
Blocked all the holes, so there's no air coming through. So the thing just goes on the goo. And
so
then
I guess the question would be: does his phlegm lubricate as well as air?
Well, it would create a snot force field, so nothing could get through, which would give him the opportunity to punk.
But
a snorse field.
A snorse field.
But then the puck would also be goopy and not go anymore. The game would be done.
But once it comes off of that, it can float on the air. It wouldn't be touching
here's what I imagine.
Okay,
I imagine
there's
Sneezy.
no way in which adding material to the board to block your goal is not cheating. Even if he's not doing it intentional, he's still cheating.
It's just
he'd have to
hazard.
turn his head to the side.
He'd have to wear a sneeze guard on his face. He would blind himself with a sneeze, and that would be it.
I don't know. I think that should be allowed, but
I mean, yeah.
I don't make the rules here.
He's got a condition.
He's got a condition. You have to accommodate.
He's got a condition, but you have to manage your condition. He can't just use it to
as a superpower.
You have to manage your condition. It can't completely negate the contest. So if he's going to sneeze,
it doesn't though. They're still playing.
Clogging the board would totally negate the contest.
It doesn't.
If it clogs his goal, then yes, it does.
It's not clogging his goal. It's clogging the holes in the board so that it stops the puck going any further.
The goal is a hole.
And how does that not negate it?
Because it's just stopping it from going any further than here. It doesn't block up the goal. If she goes hard enough,
does.
If she goes hard enough, she can still get it past this force field of blocked up holes.
Where there's pennies constantly falling out of my mouth, I would not be able to just let them be on the board and play a regular game of hockey.
But then you've got more ammo. Just
crash pennies everywhere.
Play with those.
Either he's clogging the board and cheating, or he's trying to not clog the board and is debilitated by the sneezing. It's got to be her.
All right, Charlie's saying Marion. TJ,
you're saying Sneezy would have it.
Shaughn?
Well, I went with rules as written last time, so I think I have to do it again. Despite the fact I want Sneezy to win, I do think clogging up his side of the board would be considered cheating. Through no fault of his own, though.
So,
Maid Marion.
He's not clogging up the goal itself. You can still score.
It literally is.
It's like having mud.
It's clogging up all of the region in front of it that is effectively clogging the goal. It's time for our current reigning champion, Colonel Samantha Carter, to re-enter the game and face Buster. It's dog grooming.
Buster, he's inanimate, but clearly that's, he's got to be able to do something.
No.
So
he
ties a bunch of dog brushes to himself.
He can't move.
And then don't worry about it. He's got prep time, right? He's got a whole crew. He's got a whole crew of people to just tie the dog brushes to him.
Jamie Heineman is gear.
We can make
for Buster.
Hold on. We can make accommodations. Buster can't move. If he wants brushes tied to himself, we can do that. He just have to communicate that.
Yes. He communicates that via the script for the competition to Jamie Heineman as his desire to have brushes tied to him.
There's one way I can see Buster winning this, and that is if his opponent does such a bad job that the dog is better off not having had anything done to them.
Or if he is completely covered in brush and just kind of falls on a dog.
Mm-hmm. Even if that made him slightly capable of affecting the dog hair in some way, Sam would do a better job.
All right, Charlie, you're saying Carter.
The dog. But that's the key. Buster will naturally attract dogs to his brush-covered body through sheer charisma.
And they'll pee on him.
That's completely irrelevant to the competition. It's dog brushing.
No, it's not. Would you want your dog rubbing up against pee-covered brushes?
Hey, it doesn't say anything about how the dog gets to smell. It's just about the brushes.
That's part of the grooming.
It's grooming. It's not brushing.
Is it dog grooming or dog brushing?
It's dog grooming.
Gosh, dang it. Fair enough.
All right, so Charlie's saying Carter. TJ.
Obviously Carter.
Shaughn.
Because it won't affect anything, I'm going to be stubborn and say Buster.
Colonel Samantha Carter versus Angus MacGyver.
Oh, this is a good matchup.
Yeah.
This is a
She'd
good
love
matchup.
to meet him.
She'd be so confused.
Yeah, she would. I know. This is a fun one.
We got belt buckles and shoelaces and a piece of gum. Build a nuclear reactor, for crying out loud. You used to be MacGyver, McGadget, McGimmick. Now you're Mr. McUseless.
I like this.
Portrait painting. Carter is painting a portrait of Buster. MacGyver is painting a portrait of the Kool-Aid Man.
Ooh.
Who's going to have a better portrait?
Oh, they're both...
The Kool-Aid Man has simpler shapes.
The Kool-Aid Man is literally a smiley face on a red circle.
Although Sam does have a small advantage here in that her model isn't going to be moving around.
There's a lot of water.
The Kool-Aid Man won't stop.
Reflections are very hard.
I don't see any particular advantage for either of them as far as painting skill goes. They're both pretty competent, basically competent people with no. They're both basically competent people with no particular advantage or disadvantage.
I think her scientific background might have her experience with like drawing blueprints. Maybe I don't know too much about MacGyver and whether he's good at drawing.
So she could draw a blueprint of Buster, who is a mechanical object.
Dang it!
It is very easy to draw the Kool-Aid Man.
I mean, she's painting a portrait. Yeah, the Kool-Aid Man has simple shapes, but he's going to be moving around all the time.
So does Buster.
Not of his own volition.
The Kool-Aid Man is not incapable of holding still. He's not an incompetent idiot. He could just say, "Hey, hold, I'm painting you."
But I am imagining now Buster is just like laid against a pallet like this, and just this car comes along and poof.
Or Buster is still dressed up from the last competition. He's covered in dog hair and pee, so that may complicate things.
It would be very distracting.
I gotta go
Sam
with
Carter's just rubbing her hair against it.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie, you're saying MacGyver. TJ.
I'm gonna have to give it to MacGyver.
MacGyver, Shaughn.
Out of unfortunate spite for the last episode of Stargate SG-1, it's got to be MacGyver.
Okay. All
At
right.
least you know you're biased.
Angus MacGyver versus Rabid Peach. Bowling.
Doesn't Rabbids have a bowling game?
I was thinking that.
I think it might be a mini game in a few of their titles.
MacGyver would have great technique, and Rabid Peach would be chaotic. She would throw that ball anywhere.
But if she stars in a game featuring bowling, that seems like it gives her an advantage.
Bunnies don't understand bowling. Raving Rabbids Wiki.
Might be one of the commercials.
I mean, okay, the title kind of undermines my my argument. I acknowledge that, but the practice aspect can't be completely.
Also, there is something to be said here for how far Rabbids have come since then. This was that was a commercial for Rayman Raving Rabbids. This was when the Rabbids were antagonists against Rayman, and they had like captured him and were making him play all these weird mini games for their audience. Since then, they've undergone a lot of evolution. In particular, some of the Rabbids had merged with various like Mario memorabilia stuff and kind of took on some heroic personalities and tendencies.
That's
and
a
Rabid
good point.
Peach is one of those. She's not just a Rabbid, she's also kind of a hero, and yes, she's also a diva, but she's not incompetent.
So does Mario have a bowling game?
In Mario Party 9, there was a mini game called Goomba Bowling, in which there's this line of 10 Goombas that are like slightly askew, and they walk back and forth. You've got a shell, and you chuck it down the lane and try to hit all 10 Goombas with it.
So maybe her experience with bowling is so far away from normal bowling, it won't help.
To be clear, Rabid Peach is not a Rabbid combined with Peach. Rabid Peach is a Rabbid combined with like Peach's mirror and objects.
Yes.
She doesn't have Peach's memories and skills.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate.
Also, the Rabbid versions of the characters are fairly similar in most ways, but completely opposite in one major way. Princess Peach is like a skilled diplomat. We occasionally see that, and she has like this can-do attitude most of the time, but she's very humble about it. Rabid Peach is the opposite of humble.
I think Rabbids are inherently bumbling more than MacGyver would be.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I think MacGyver could do an almost perfect game. He would, especially 4 hours to calculate and practice, he would come up with a good technique. And Peach would kind of wing it, would have fun, would not do a bad job because she's used to mini games and throwing things. But it would be more chaotic and less precise.
Yeah, I definitely see Rabid Peach doing the old, between the legs and huck it maneuver.
So, sounds like MacGyver then.
MacGyver.
Yep.
Angus MacGyver versus Lieutenant Commander Geordie LaForge, squeezing 500 pounds of sponges through a mail slot.
Melt them down with a phaser.
Okay.
Melt them down with a phaser.
I agree. Disintegrate with the phaser, technically, and then
Don't
blowing them
disintegrate
through
them.
the mail slot would technically do it.
They do have to still be sponges, though.
And here's the thing. I was going to bring this up last time, and I forgot. But is a phaser really part of their normal kit? When they go on an away mission, sure. But Geordie does not carry a phaser around.
I would argue that a multiversal competition is the definition of away mission.
Sometimes on the ship they do, but
Well, there's
not
a
at all
something.
times. But I
And
would
if anybody
say
would, it would be a security person, not Geordie.
But I would say that is standard gear for any away mission, and Geordie is not on the Enterprise right now.
You might consider anyone's game an away mission.
Sponges. 500 pounds. That's a lot of sponges.
It's a lot of.
What is this contest? It feels like it's
some
dedication.
bizarre
It's
thing that Rob's brought up. He just thought it was funny, and it
No,
is.
I'm talking about
and
what
it
is-
makes me angry.
I'm talking about what at its core is this a contest of?
Idiocy.
It's going to take patience.
Yeah.
It's going to take a certain level of ingenuity. Like, you're not just going to grab the sponges and one by one throw them through there. You're going to grab a handful of sponges and start stuffing them in. But you're going to have to also find the optimal number, because if you go too high, then they just get stuck. And if you go too low, you're wasting space and time.
So there's some strategy involved also. You might tear the sponges up and make it easier.
You might try to rig up something to feed the sponges through.
How big are the sponges?
Faster, but
are we talking dish sponge, or are we talking car sponge?
I would think dish sponge.
They're
So I think both.
Dish
both.
Sponge. Okay.
So
both
it's not about cramming them
characters.
in. It's about timing, but it's just shoving them in.
Yeah,
quickly.
stuffing them through a mailbox isn't that hard when they're that.
I mean,
big.
they're not just those. There's all kinds. There's car sponges. There's scrub daddies in there.
I think
There's,
it matters what kind of sponge. If you're thinking assorted
scouring
sponges,
pads.
then maybe
assorted
they would
sponges.
encounter a few problems. But if they're all uniform size and they're all about the size that you showed us, then it's just a case of speed.
Then I'm thinking MacGyver, because they both are ingenuitous. They both come up with techniques that would be effective. But what he has is more in the field experience.
I think it'll be close, very close.
I think
it's very
I
close,
agree
but I
with
think
in
he's
the
more
field.
physically capable.
I think Geordie's kit of having a tricorder will help him calculate the best. Yeah, scan the sponges and be like, okay, this one.
What prep time do they have, and what could they do in that prep time?
They have 4 hours, and they can examine the sponges. They can do a test run. They can smash them through. That's fine. But when the time is over, the area is completely reset. So anything they build is unbuilt.
Damn.
So here's the other thing I can think of, because I think both engineers would try to enlarge the hole somehow. I'm sure MacGyver has a hacksaw on his person, so that's not a question.
If not,
I'm
you
sure
make one out of
Geordie.
sponges.
Yeah, I'm sure Geordie can enlarge the hole
Phaser.
with his phaser.
If
So
you
the question
enlarge the
is,
hole, it's
which
no
is
longer
faster?
a mail slot.
If you
I
can still
think
stick mail through
Geordie-
it, define mail slot.
A mail slot is a thin rectangular slot in a door that has a mechanism that allows mail to come through and things not to go back.
So the hole only has to be smaller than the flappy
Damn you.
bit.
Yeah, and it's already pretty much the maximum
Okay.
size that it can be.
I think in the time of
then
preparation,
preparation doesn't.
they would be setting up, not setting up, but trying to get a good grip on how the sponges would go. If it were me, I would be lining up sponges in a way that I could grab them and then just push them through, in a row. As you said, it's all undone afterwards, so they wouldn't be able to prepare that, but it would be all about trying to get the right motion, getting everything in efficiently.
Yeah.
But eventually,
Who's more
they're going to get
efficient?
tired.
Yeah, and
They're both
that's
efficient.
why
They're both proficient. They're both going to come up with tricks. They're both going to use one sponge with soap infused in it from the beginning to lubricate the slot.
That's good.
And And they're both gonna do something because they're both very smart engineer type people.
Lubricating
But Angus MacGyver's gonna have more endurance and more stick-to-itiveness. Georgie's gonna keep at it, but he's gonna slow down eventually.
Wait, MacGyver has more endurance?
He's
I would say so.
Fighting, he's out in the field dealing with bad guys.
So is Geordie.
All the time in weird
Geordie
environments in the wild, in jungles and deserts.
Yeah, but Geordie's like a Starfleet officer in a world post-want.
But he's exactly. So he's not usually in deprivation.
So sure, he's not in deprivation, but you don't need to be.
I have a question.
He's probably very physically fit.
I have to maintain
agree.
a level of fitness to be in Starfleet.
But he's an engineer. He doesn't need to be doing physical training all the time.
But he does. He's always down doing away missions and dodging phaser fire and shit like that.
He's not nearly doing away missions as much as most other people. He just his away missions are pretty rare, and he doesn't go down to planets. He goes to other ships usually.
He does sometimes end up on planets.
Sometimes, but mostly not. MacGyver's doing away missions every episode.
All right.
I do think MacGyver has definitely the edge in athletics. You can like visualize MacGyver just going out and doing things. Geordie is almost always, he's got a toolkit and he's just kind of tooling around the Enterprise, right?
Yeah, you don't see Geordie hanging from a helicopter, but that's easily a thing MacGyver could do.
I will say he once found metal deposits in mud, melted them down to make picks, and he picked into rocks with just his arms.
Is that Geordie?
That was Geordie.
Oh, that's really strong. Yeah. If we're going based on what the show has shown us he can do, what kind of rocks? Talc?
Strength and
Granite?
endurance are different things.
It may not have been rocks. It may have been like a soft mud-like material, but these things were like handheld picks that you could just into.
But it does take a lot of endurance to climb. Have you ever hung from like anything? You gas out in seconds. Yeah. It's
I'm not saying George isn't capable of doing things like that. I'm just saying he doesn't do it every episode, and MacGyver does.
But he's got to be able. If he's able to do that on a whim, he must be.
It wasn't a whim. It was a survival situation.
Yeah, but he had to do it without any preparation. He wasn't lifting weights and constantly doing this all the time. He was just like that. He was just able to do it.
Right.
Even if you're in a survival situation and you have to claw yourself out of a pit of mud, you're still only limited by your own physical capabilities. He was able to do that.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's incompetent. I'm saying...
Are you getting flies as well, Rob?
Yeah, I am.
They've migrated through the...
Oh no, that poor camera.
You'll clean off, I'm sure. You're now in the fog of war. Yeah, this is just...
I'm saying Geordie. Let's bring it to
MacGyver for me.
All right, TJ saying Geordie, Charlie's saying MacGyver, Shaughn.
This is a rough one, but sponges through a mail slot.
Yeah, that was the competition.
Yeah. But sponges through a mail slot is it's so close, but I think it's very slightly more in MacGyver's wheelhouse, so I'm going to give it to MacGyver.
MacGyver squeezes his way into the final to face Maid Marian.
Squeezes himself through a mail slot.
Covered in soap, I'm sure.
The final match here works a little bit differently. The first player to win twice becomes the new champion. There are also a number of free-for-all matches left in the bucket. If we draw one of those, and a previous player wins it, they enter the final alongside the current competitors. So it would become a three-way final. I have in my hands 11 chips. Shaughn, choose a number 1 through 11.
11.
American Idol.
That's an easy Maid Marian win.
Yeah, she could sing.
She can sing. Given what I see on the internet, she looks the part for a winner of American Idol.
The only disadvantage is that she's British.
You know what? Yeah, I see that.
But I've not seen not only MacGyver not sing a dance. I've not seen any Richard Dean Anderson character do any singing or dancing ever.
Yeah. But since this is a competition, I don't think that American Idol will disqualify anyone for being British. No. Yeah, it's got to be the person who knows how to sing and dance.
Yeah, it's less American Idol and more Splinterville Idol. So that one goes to Maid Marian. Charlie, pick a number 1 through 10.
7.
String figures.
Ooh.
Maid Marian is shown doing that in the movie, isn't she?
I don't know.
MacGyver does that with things all the time, not necessarily even just strings.
I would give that one to MacGyver because he's technically minded, and he would just.
He is, but string figures is like a game.
He's a
that
string
you kind of have
bender.
to know the. You can't really invent string figures very easily. You kind of have to know the technique. So the question is, ask Alexa when string figures were invented, because I feel like that's a thing that would be used in medieval times as a pastime. And so I feel like Maid Marian might have an advantage there.
Yeah. I was going to say that there's probably some sort of like string mechanism that he'd have set up, and he'd have to work out all the mechanics of how that would be routed through. But that's not fingers, is it?
So string figures goes to Maid Marian.
That was an easy win.
Which means that she is our new champion. However, does she get the sweep? TJ, pick a number 1 through 9.
2.
Runway walking.
She sweeps.
Okay, hold on. Rabbit Peach. I'm gonna go all in on Rabbit Peach right now.
This isn't a free for all, and Rabbit Peach was eliminated 2 rounds ago.
No, Rimmer.
Wait, is that not how that works?
The low Rimmer from that one episode of Red Dwarf kind of clip.
I'm going to lash you to within an inch of your life, and then I'm going to have you.
Maybe I'm confused at how the third party comes in.
There's some that are listed.
There are
as a
some
free-for-all,
matches that are free for alls.
Yeah.
They're specially designated.
Sometimes it's
they're the previous opponent.
So and so versus so and so, but then sometimes it's so and so versus so and so versus so and so.
My bad. Okay, I guess I didn't understand. I thought it was like you can pick off anyone on the board.
No.
All right, my bad. Jeez.
So, before we go into the wrap up, where can folks find more from you guys? Charlie.
You can find me at the Fire Thieves Studio on Facebook and my own website, where I am following all kinds of ADHD-driven projects and side projects, including drawing and 2D ink stuff, distressing teddy bears for fun and profit, and making boffer weapons for LARP and all kinds of other stuff.
Shaughn.
Hi, I'm Shaughn. You can usually find me about 40 feet underground shouting at machinery.
And TJ.
Twitch.tv/TJ Panel. You can usually find me right here shouting at machinery.
And flies.
Yeah.
And flies.
All right, and if you liked this and want to see more, hit the subscribe button and the little thumbs up right there at the bottom of the video player. That helps us out a lot. Helps YouTube know that other people should probably see this as well. And if you want to see more of our other projects, such as Asterism, Flanxiety, or Gordian Maps, you can find those on our website, raspberrygrenade.com. And if just looking at things isn't quite enough for you, and you want to throw a little bit of money our way and help us make more of this more often, you can go to patreon.com/raspberrygrenade. Maid Marian walked the runway better than MacGyver, and also outdid him in string figures and singing. She played a better game of air hockey than Sneezy, stole more valuables out of a train than Hiram Flaversham.
He's fallen asleep.
She folded paper more intricately than Rebecca Cunningham, and she painted a more beautiful landscape than Commander William Riker. That's why Maid Marian is our new champion. She will be back to face a full set of 31 new competitors, because this is still anyone's game.
Anyone's game.
Anyone's Game is a production of Raspberry Grenade Games, copyright 2024, all rights reserved.